Carrie's going to have to recuse herself, so we may go out of order once we get the minutes and the letters done. So the first matter of business would be approval of the minutes in the last meeting. Hopefully everyone's had an opportunity to review those at any more time. Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes? And it's got a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
A second.
And a second. Then a motion to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
I abstained since I was not here last
Abstention.
time.
Next matter would be the approval of the decision letter. There was one in there. Anyone want to introduce a motion to approve the decision letter?
I make a motion to approve the decision letter.
Got a motion to approve this decision letter. Is there a second?
I have a question.
Ask away.
In the letter it says, appellant of the property located at 2207 Pennington Bend Road and 2207 Pennington Bend Road. I think,
Are they both 2207 or is one A and B? Do we know?
yeah,
I think it was two different.
I don't recall.
It's a split lot, so it's possible
Yeah.
they had the same number. I just don't remember.
I think they may have been separate addresses.
So we can maybe approve with the exception that there needs to be, the address is needed to be confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll amend my motion to approve the letter after clarification or revision as needed on the addresses.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none. All right, that motion passes. So the letter has been approved, subject to confirmation of the and modification to proper address numbers. As stated, looks like we may have an issue with a quorum. I'm not positive of that. Legal. We do. So we got to wait. Okay. And so let's go to the second matter first, provided the applicant and its representatives are here. As far as Ridgeview Phase 2, is the applicant here? You have everybody you need? You good to go forward? Okay, let's do that then. If you want to come on up and if you could go ahead and read the opening statement into the record so that they can hear that.
The opening statement to the applicant. If you're not satisfied with the decision made by the Stormwater Management Committee, you may appeal the decision by filing for a writ of certiorari with the Davidson County Chancery or Circuit Court. Your appeal must be filed within 60 days of the date of the committee's decision. You are advised to seek the independent advice of legal counsel to ensure that your appeal is filed in a timely manner and that all procedural requirements have been satisfied.
Wonderful, thank you. And we'll go ahead and hand the floor over to staff for a description of the variance request.
All right, this is case 2018-00016, Ridgeview Phase 2 final UDO, located at Eagle View Boulevard. The applicant is requesting permission to remove a low-quality wetland to accommodate a new development, as well as removal of the associated wetland buffers to accommodate the development. The appellant in this case is Randy Chastain of Parkside Builders, LLC, and they're being represented by David Nichols of Reagan Smith Associates. Stormwater has no Stormwater has no comments at this time. Codes has no comments. Planning states that the site is zoned RM9 and MUL, and Greenways defers to the comments of the Stormwater Management Committee.
Thank you. That will turn the floor over to the applicant.
Hi, my name is David Nichols. What you have before you is a wetland that's about 0.124 acres. It sits roughly in the middle of the property. And then I'm going to present this. I'll let Silas answer any technical questions. He's the environmental consultant on the job. But essentially what we think happened is there was some construction and earth moving activities out here several years back, I think maybe 8 to 10. A spoil pile was placed in a drainage ditch where a pipe from a neighboring apartment complex discharges to this property. We believe that's what causes wetland. By all accounts, it's a very low quality, and due to its positioning, it was really, we didn't have much of a choice but to impact it to get any kind of yield out of this property. It's a pretty small piece of property, and so what we have proposed is a mitigation plan that consists of getting down into the stream buffer, which is on the eastern edge of our property, doing some invasives removal, doing some seedling and shrub planting in that area as remediation, and then monitoring for, I believe, 2 years is what's called for in the report. And we can certainly answer any more questions on specifics that you may have, but that's the general overview. I'll leave it at that. So.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to or in favor of this variance request? Seeing none, with that, we will then begin this discussion of the panel. This is Todd's favorite subject. We need Todd here. He's the one supposed to ask the questions about wetlands.
So the wetland, you said, was just created by a drainage pipe. And have you talked to the state about?
We have obtained an ARAP to remove it. So this will be the last regulatory permit that we need to pick up in order to do this. But TDEC's approved the ARAP.
Is the approval in our packet? Yeah.
It was provided, it's provided, and I've got the ARAP number on the plans that you received. And we can certainly email that out to the committee members if needed.
It's the last couple of pages.
Yeah.
And you said it was hydraulically isolated from...
Yeah, that's correct. We actually had the Army Corps of Engineers come out, and they did an approved jurisdictional determination on that and recognized that it was artificially created and there was no inlet or outlet to it.
Thanks.
I know sometimes we have Metro has a little bit different opinion as far as quality. Were there any different opinion on the quality of this?
And staff feels the new plantings are appropriate for the site. And
Is there any mitigation?
Yes, we're going to go into the stream buffer on the eastern side. Silas can speak a little more to the species, but there's a lot. It's overgrown with invasives, and so we're proposing an invasives removal along the buffer, and then we've come in and we will do bare root seedlings and shrubs in the buffer where we can. And there's a sewer easement there where we can't plant trees, so there we've proposed a prairie grass mix. And then because that kept us from kind of planting trees in the whole buffer, we've come up out of the buffer and added some more, some bare root seedlings, and then we also added some additional, I think 2-inch caliper trees from what we had before, just so they would be a little more established. And then we'll monitor that for 2 years. And you probably have to come in and remove the invasives again, and then you may have to replace a few seedlings as well. That's what's proposed for mitigation. So.
The mitigation proposal is for Well, the total disturbance is .39 acres, which is the .124 acre wetland and the associated buffer with the wetland. Their mitigation proposal is 1.47 acres of invasive removal and .76 acres of tree and shrub plantings with a 75% survival. The one thing that we do ask, if it's approved, is that the ash species be removed from the list of plantings. Seems as the emerald ash borer is going to kill all ash species within the next 5 years. And then, we don't really have a comment as to whether it's an adequate switch. It's kind of up to you to decide if the hardship's there for the removal.
I'm really familiar with this site, not to the extent I need to recuse myself, but I know that this property was mass graded over 10 years ago. It sat there dormant for a long time, and I'm sure that's how this was created. So I would recommend approval of their application as submitted with the staff's comments that the ashes be removed in the mitigation, and that would be my motion.
I'll second that proposal.
We've got a motion and a second. So discussion on the motion. The motion is to approve the request as applied with the condition that the ash trees be removed from the species list. Discussion? Seeing none, vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, let's move to the first matter on the agenda.
Chairman, I need to recuse myself.
Thank you, Carrie. And another representative was here. Is there anyone else here on behalf of the applicant?
Michael Tolles is here also.
Okay. And so he's already heard the opening statement, so we can move on. Let's go ahead and move to staff for a description of the request.
Sir. Second case is 2018-00015. It's at 151 First Avenue South, parcel number 093-064-08300 and 093-064-08400. Inspector is Denise Johns. Council district is 19. Freddie O'Connell's the council person. And the applicant's request is to allow the following. Request for uncompensated fill in the floodplain, approximately 3,000 cubic yards. Appellant is Jacob May from the Congress Group. Representative is Jeff Cundiff from Barge Design Group. Comments, stormwater staff comments. The proposed green roof is a positive addition for water quality. Codes had no comment. Planning, site is zoned DTC, defer to stormwater for review. And Greenways comments defers to comments from the Stormwater Management Committee.
Thank you very much. With that, we'll turn it over to the applicant.
Good morning. My name is Jeff Cundiff with Barge Design Solutions. This project is a new high-rise for downtown Nashville, 40-story building, hotel, high-end hotel, and condos. And then it'll have an activated street where it'll have restaurants. We've been working on this for probably well over a year, working with MDHA and others, trying to enhance the streetscape so that we can create better pedestrian access and circulation for people and activate that side of First Avenue over there towards the park. This will be a property line to property line building. Therefore, we've submitted a stormwater waiver request, and we are proceeding with the Volume 4 stormwater management design. And when we developed the design for the stormwater management for the water quality units, we did not account for any of the green roofs that we're proposing in addition to this design. So there's there's about 5,500 cubic feet required for this site to treat, and we're going to be providing up to 7,600 cubic feet of water quality treatment, which is about a 38% increase over what we're required to do for our mitigation here. The uncompensated volume, we took the Cumberland River model and we evaluated this ineffective flow area to determine if placing this building would have any impact on the Cumberland River. And in doing so, there was zero rise in the Cumberland River from putting this building here and uncompensating for the volume. Be happy to answer any more detailed questions that y'all have.
It's just a parking lot now?
It's a parking lot and a building. It's where the Market Street apartments are, right next to the, this will actually connect to the pedestrian bridge. So it's between Demonbreun and the pedestrian bridge.
So the Market Street.
Yeah, so what you see there, the existing building will be gone, and then it'll go essentially all the way to the...
That's the pinnacle in the background.
Yes, right.
And then that's the bridge to the right. So we take up that
That's
block.
this whole block.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor of or in opposition to this project? Or request, actually, not the project? Seeing none, okay. So now we can discuss and if we have any questions for the applicant.
Do we have any community questions from the council member at all on this?
No, I haven't received it.
Is there any below grade parking?
No.
Where is the, where is this area, this that's being filled? As far as is it in the parking lot? Is that where this area is?
It actually encompasses a good portion of the site, so.
Well, it doesn't encompass the building, right?
Yes, yeah.
So what's the yellow area? Because when you just highlight, when you
So
drew
the whole site is located like in the floodplain.
Where is that in my packet?
I'm not exactly sure what sheet it is, but it should be in there.
But I mean, I guess my point is right now, this is, the building doesn't, I mean, the building's there.
Yes.
So it's not like that storage that is used by floodwater at this point in time. Well, I guess it is because the building floods.
Yeah. I mean, and we are elevating the finished floor of this proposed building to meet the regulations. It'll be above the 1 foot above the 100-year flood elevation.
Just 1 foot above?
It's more than 1 foot above. It's actually about 1.5 feet.
You know what happened to the pinnacle, right?
Right, and we are looking at additional flood mitigation measures above regulations to help mitigate this building from similar to like a 2010 event or something along those lines. We are meeting all the regulations relative to finished floor elevation.
So does one of these drawings delineate the area that's being filled?
Yeah, there's cross sections in there. It's the whole site.
Chairman, if you look at C201, it will show you the spot shots. In this particular case, a lot of your cases, you'll see like a line that will say 100-year floodplain.
Yeah, it's delineated somewhere, because the whole thing is under.
Exactly.
And so what is our 100-year plain?
15.5.
So it's not much under, or some parts are, I guess. What are these 406 spot shots? Are those within the building? The existing?
Let's see what you're looking at.
They are? And that basement level, is that volume being included in the volume that's being filled? Was the no rise study and determination acceptable to staff? Are those calculations in here, or at least the letter, whatever report?
I thought they were in the packet.
The study should be in there. It was submitted. Looks like.
Chairman, it's right after the permit.
Is our legal counsel here? Legal? Someone representing us?
I emailed, did not receive any response.
Is it appropriate for me to ask the cost of construction of this building? Can I ask that question?
I think you're allowed to ask whatever you want.
You may ask it. I don't have that
Do
answer.
we have a general idea?
It'll be very expensive. I know
How many
that.
how many square feet is in this building? We know. How many stories you say?
It's a 40-story.
40-story building.
It's going to be a very nice building.
Yeah, it's going to be
It-
multi millions of dollars in this
It's
building.
going to be a very nice building.
It's excess of 200.
So, that's why I struggle with this on many different levels. I'm not saying your request is not appropriate at all. I'm just, I would have to think that based upon the amount of money that's going into this building, that there would be the ability to go find some nearby piece of property to compensate 3,000 cubic yards. On the other hand, I know that we're proposing a flood wall downtown, and I assumed that was going to create all kinds of uncompensated fill. So
That's right. And
it's just a struggle for me.
Yeah.
And it's probably based upon my background a little bit. I mean, I've done a lot of work in the floodplain and even toyed with the idea of a nonprofit, which I actually created to maybe help people with situations like this.
Yeah.
This is a major improvement for Nashville. I had to consider that as well. And so I'm pulled in many different directions. And they're just comments. You can
Yeah, no, to that, I mean, it's important to me too. And so that's why, when we started looking at this, we wanted to look at the river model and just make sure that our design was appropriate and sustainable as much as it could be, and a benefit to the community. So we wouldn't have, I wouldn't want to be standing here and not be able to tell you that we haven't modeled this and we haven't looked at the impact to the neighbors' properties or others. I want to be able to tell everybody that this will have zero impact on the.
And I'm convinced of that.
And this site happens to be at the low end of this huge basin that all drains right down through here. And we did not account for the flood wall being part of this project, so that's why we're advising the owner to look at flood mitigation measures in addition to what's regulated, so that they can help protect this building in the future. Because, we want it to be a benefit to the whole community. And so that's the way we've approached this design. And, in order to build as the community wants, property line to property line, we don't have a whole lot of opportunity on this site to do any sort of floodplain mitigation. So we wanted to make sure that what we were taking out didn't have an impact on the.
Well, that's what I'm just saying. There are opportunities. You could find some property along the Cumberland River. You could probably work out something. Even go to Shelby Park, work out something with the Metro to create 3,000 yards of compensation or do mitigation or whatever. I think that's something that's possible. I think that's something that could be done. I'm not sure I'm asking you to do that. I'm just in a philosophical discussion. I don't know why this city, as progressive as we are, cannot look a little more long-term about what's going to happen downtown and multiple requests like you have. So I struggle. I'm going to listen to other committee members and see what they have to say. But I just wanted to get that out there. And I think I've said this before, and I'll continue to probably say it over and over again. I think there's some opportunities here for us to be a little more insightful about what we're doing. So those are just general statements. like to hear what everybody else has to say.
I will also mention that I forgot to say this earlier, that we are seeking LEED Gold on this building, so.
Seeking what now?
LEED Gold.
Okay.
The new standards, so which are elevated from what they used to be. So, I mean, the whole goal is to make this as sustainable as possibly can be.
I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
But
So
again, I think about, multiple applications and 3,000 yards here and 2,000 yards there and the cumulative effect. Yet, we looked at doing a flood wall downtown, which I guess proved to work, and it was going to create all kinds of uncompensated fill. So I'm struggling with making the right decision.
You sound a little bit like Dad there, a little bit here.
Yeah, I probably sat next to him too long. But this is something I've been doing a long time. I've probably developed and worked in more floodplain properties in Nashville than anybody else. And so, and I see it from all aspects. And also, in a building of this magnitude, there seems like there could be a greater effort to address this uncompensated fill.
Chairman, I hate to say this when legal counsel's not here. The request for this application is very comparable to what we have seen very, very nearby properties, that they would try to mitigate uncompensated fill with additional green roof and water quality measures.
What kind of volume do we have in the underground storage vault?
Michael, can you answer that?
I'm sorry?
About 5,500
Cubic feet.
Yeah, and we're providing an additional 38% on top of that, so we're providing a total of 7,600 cubic feet of
So
water
all that
quality.
vault really does is help with water quality. It's just enough to try to clean it up before it sticks in the system.
Yes. Yeah, and it's.
I'll make a motion to approve as requested, based on the fact that it's consistent with the other development that we're doing down there. Do I hear a second?
second, yes.
And we've got a second. Let's open the floor for discussion on the motions on the table.
I'm going to make one more statement because I'm going to vote in favor of this motion. But I've said so much now, I need to qualify how I'm doing it. I think the applicant's done an additional amount of mitigation, which staff has recognized. And the fact that we have done multiple studies along the Cumberland River, this is not going to raise the flood elevation, which is one of our primary concerns. You've also done a no-rise. And so based upon that, I think it pushes me over the edge. But it is still a concern that I have that maybe we should be a little more visionary about how we deal with this in the future. But I will also support this motion. So.
Thank you. Any other comments, discussion? Seeing none, let's put it for a vote. There's a motion on the table to approve as requested. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I see the agenda says nothing under items of business. I'm not sure I believe that. We have any business we need to handle?
So if you want to add something to it, I would just say that, the checklist being looked at, we're going to be having an idea sharing meeting pretty soon, and we will be discussing that at the next idea sharing.
This is the application checklist that
Yes,
they
sir.
fill out. Yeah, wonderful. Seeing none other.
I got something.
All right, sure.
I just want to thank staff for their work. I think they do a great job, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, they very much do agree.
I have something. I'm curious about the new ordinance that Jeff Syracuse has proposed. I just briefly read it. I don't know if anyone else is familiar with it.
I'm familiar with it. It's primarily along the...
Confusing to me,
Yeah.
I guess, it's regarding adding, or I don't know if it's adding, but
Is this the
protecting
Miami-
the 50
This is the Miami
foot
Avenue
buffer.
stuff?
Yeah. I don't know if staff.
What's proposed as of
maybe-
now? I don't.
The proposed is,
Technically Miami.
yeah.
It's technically residential structures,
Along Cumberland.
residentially zoned properties on the Cumberland River.
That they not be allowed to have any buildings within the Zone 1 buffer.
I believe that's the case.
Well, it says just no disturb, I think.
Okay, that's even
I-
worse.
Yeah, I was curious if you guys had any
Well, that's
thoughts
a
on
real
it
legal question on that one.
Yeah, maybe so.
I almost feel like I'm getting set up, but I'll just leave it as the council people will do the legislation, and we will uphold legislation that is passed by council.
That legal says you're allowed to.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, but until it goes
That's
through
just
council.
what it is. I mean, obviously, there'll be legal challenges to this as takings.
Yeah.
Because it will exhaust some properties from having any attempt of, any possibility of a variance whatsoever.
So it doesn't even allow for a variance?
No, not my understanding.
Well, that's what the original document said, but then I think it was revised to take that language out.
So what's the point of that?
I don't know. It seems like you end up in the same spot we are now. That's mainly why I was brought it up, but
Any other items? Looking for the magic motion.
I move we adjourn this meeting.
Here a second.
Second.
Motion on the floor. Any discussion? Seeing none. Motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Wonderful.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.